Are you trapped in dev cycles that drag on for 6 to 12 agonizing months? What if I told you your team could deploy major game-changing features in a single day? Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're ripping open the Anthropic playbook. We are going right inside their product team, led by Cat Wu, to see exactly how they use AI to move at a speed that is, frankly, just leaving the rest of the industry in the dust.
Let's start with a staggering contrast. Before this current wave of AI, shifting your tech took forever. We're talking mapped out on massive 6 to 12-month horizons. But Anthropic? They've completely smashed that timeline. They've driven feature development down to just a month, sometimes a week, and literally, no joke, even down to a single day.
So how on earth do they actually pull this off? Well, it all comes down to the core philosophy driving this insane speed. As Anthropic's head of product, Cat Wu, puts it, as code becomes much cheaper to write, the thing that becomes more valuable is deciding what to write. Think about that for a second. When you don't have to spend months grinding out the engineering for a solution, your main bottleneck completely flips. It shifts from execution to simply having exceptional judgment. Here is exactly how we're going to break down this playbook today. 1. The new shipping speed. 2. Product taste above all. 3. Mission-driven decisions. 4. The right AI tools. 5. Model evolution. And 6. Automating your job. All right, let's jump straight into part 1, the new shipping speed. So how does Anthropic manage to ship almost daily without the entire company just melting down into total chaos? Well, they actively strip away heavy processes. Instead of those clunky multi-quarter roadmaps, they rely on extremely clear, immediate goals. A massive secret to their speed, shipping features in what they call a research preview. Calling it a preview instantly brands the feature as early and experimental, which practically removes the friction to getting it out the door. Plus, they use these things called evergreen launch rooms on Slack. An engineer just drops a finished feature into the channel, and boom, marketing and docs jump right on it, turning around a public announcement by the very next day. Moving right along to part 2, product taste above all.
Because execution is so incredibly fast now, the traditional boundaries between engineering, design, and product management are completely overlapping. I mean, you have engineers at Anthropic taking user feedback directly from Twitter and shipping a polished product by the end of the week with almost zero PM involvement. PMs are out there writing code and model evaluations, and designers are essentially operating as front-end engineers. It requires everybody to wear multiple hats and, honestly, to have very low ego.
So what happens to the traditional product manager in all this? Well, the ultimate survival skill in this blended environment is what Cat Wu calls product taste. When the actual coding part is practically free, your true value comes from deciding exactly what is worth building. It's about understanding the exact right user experience and navigating tens of thousands of feature requests to find that one perfect, most delightful path forward.
Which brings us to part 3, mission-driven decision-making.
Now, speed and product taste without a clear direction, that's just chaos. Anthropic anchors all of this crazy momentum with a really rigid core mission. Their unifying goal is to bring safe AGI to all of humanity. And look, this isn't just some nice corporate poster on the wall. It acts as the absolute ultimate tiebreaker for every single product decision. If two priorities clash, the team literally just asks which one serves this specific mission better. This creates a really intense culture of mission over product. Teams are totally willing to sacrifice their own product success if it serves the broader company. For example, they made the really tough call to pull back on subsidizing third-party open Claude projects. Why? So they could prioritize scaling their first-party infrastructure and API safely. Sure, it hurts in the short term, but it perfectly aligns with their long-term focus. No distractions. All right, part 4, the right AI tools. Okay, so what actual tools is the Anthropic team using internally to keep up this blistering pace? Cat Wu splits their toolset neatly into 2 distinct buckets. If you're building something where the final output is code, you use Claude Code via the command line or the desktop app. But if the output is non-code, like a strategy document, an email, or a presentation, you fire up Cowork. This dual stack builds absolutely incredible leverage. By connecting data sources like Slack, Google Calendar, and Drive directly to Cowork, PMs and applied AI folks are just completely automating hours of tedious manual work. Get this. Cat Wu once fed a bunch of rough notes and scattered Slack threads into Cowork, and overnight, it generated a polished 20-page slide deck that perfectly matched Anthropic's internal design system. Meanwhile, applied AI teams use it to auto-generate dossiers that summarize all the necessary customer context right before their morning meetings. It's literally like having a hyper-competent chief of staff. Let's dive into part 5, Evals and model evolution. Of course, these tools are powered by AI models, and as those models get smarter, the product itself has to evolve or get out of the way. There's this great insider saying that the model will eat the harness. Here's what that means. Early on, Claude struggled with large code refactors, so the team had to build this rigid to-do list feature to force the AI to remember its steps. But by the time Opus 4 launched, the model was smart enough to naturally create its own to-do lists internally. And with the newest models, task execution is so flawless that the human crutch of a visible to-do list is almost entirely unnecessary. The model just ate the harness.
So the big takeaway here for builders is this. You need to build features slightly beyond what is currently possible. If an AI code review feature is only 80% accurate today, build the infrastructure for it anyway. That way, when the next infinitely smarter model drops in 6 months, you just swap it in. You're already ahead of the market, while everyone else is scrambling just to start building.
Finally, part 6, automating your own job. How do you actually apply this Anthropic playbook to your own daily workflow? Well, you must actively hand off the tedious parts of your job. The strategy is super simple. First, identify a manual, repetitive task. Second, automate it using these AI tools. And third, and honestly, this is the absolutely crucial part, reinvest that newly freed up time into the creative, high-impact projects that you previously just never had the bandwidth for. But listen, you have to beware of the 95% trap. Getting an AI workflow to 95% accuracy just isn't enough because you still have to babysit it and manually check its work. You have to put in the elbow grease. Teaching the AI your preferences, refining the prompts, iterating on the skill over and over until it hits exactly 100%. If it's not truly fire and forget, it is not true automation. You really have to embrace this just do things mentality. At a certain point, strict job titles and rigid roles are just artificial constraints. Like Kat Wu says, if you understand the constraints, you can figure out what you can do and then just try to do it quickly. Don't wait around for permission. Just use these AI models to build a solution and do it fast. Learn from the inevitable mistakes and just keep moving. All right, let's do a rapid core review of the hard facts. Ship and research previews to drop dev timelines from months to exactly 1 day. Blur your roles so engineers do PM work and PMs write code. Use Claude CLI exclusively for code and Cowork for non-code tasks. And always build for where the model will be exactly 6 months from now. Today's underlying takeaway: when coding becomes practically free, your ultimate value is product's taste, the pure judgment of deciding exactly what is worth building. Now, here is my challenge to you. If you are going to replicate this automation playbook in your own work, what is the very first step you're going to take? Drop your specific plan in the comments below, and I'll jump in to help you avoid the biggest pitfalls. Leave a comment, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.